Hey friends, today and tomorrow we're going to explore 5 amazing blessings of trusting Jesus. So stick around because this is going to bless you. Welcome to Growing in the Gospel. I'm Pastor Cary, and this is our launch week for this channel. So now is the time to subscribe, to share, to think about friends that you love, to invite them not just to the video, but to the community. And I encourage you already to get engaged. Drop a comment, post a question. I want to engage with you. I want to develop a community of growing followers of Jesus Christ. If you take Jesus seriously, if you love him, if you love his word, if you love his people, you're going to love the time that we spend together. And if you have a friend that doesn't know Jesus, I hope you'll encourage them to join this journey as well, because we're simply looking at the Bible and discovering what it says, what it means, and why it matters for our lives today, and always through the lens of the gospel, always helping the gospel to make sense, breaking down the walls and the oppression of religious systems and coming back to the authenticity of that real relationship, that intimate relationship with God through Jesus. That's what you can expect to find on this channel. We're in Psalm 81, and we're going to finish this psalm tomorrow. So I invite you to stay with me these next 2 days. Now, before we jump into Psalm 81, I want to remind you that we're releasing the Done videos this week. Chapter 1 is already posted. Chapter 2, or introduction maybe, Chapter 1 will post later today. So look for that in your stream. And then a third release on Friday. And I encourage you to begin inviting or sharing people, sharing those videos with people. It's just a simple gospel presentation that those videos are between 7 and 12 minutes, but you pray that God will use it to bring people to Jesus. In a minute, we're going to see 5 things that God wanted to do for his people and that Jesus today still wants to do for his people, because it is his heart, it is his nature, it is who he is. Now, this is a call to worship. We've studied that. God begins by saying, come and sing, I'm your strength. Come and celebrate, come and with a spirit of solemnity, understand that I am a deliverer, I am a redeemer. Second part of worship, he says, hear, and then he says, hearken. So listen to me, I want to testify to you, that's verse 8. Hearken to me, that's the end of verse 8. If you will come into relationship with me, if you'll trust me, and if you will entrust yourself to me, if you'll listen to my words and obey my voice, no strange God, you won't worship a false god. You won't be drawn astray. You won't be drawn away in the bondage of lies and idolatry and self-destructive practices. Verse 10, I am the Lord, which brought thee out of the land of Egypt. Open your mouth, and I will fill it. But then the sad turn in this psalm, but my people would not hearken to my voice. Israel would none of me. You can feel the brokenness there. So I gave them up unto their own heart's lust. The most dangerous place we can be is forcing God to take a back seat, to give us our own way. Forcing God to give us our own ways or to release us to our own ways. It's a guaranteed path of danger and self-destruction. He says he released them to their own lusts and they walked in their own counsels. Now, we talked about that yesterday. You know you're in grave danger. You're walking down a really bad road when you don't want to hear the counsel of God. You don't want to hear the counsel of godly people. You don't want to hear the advice and the insight of people who have nothing to gain and no real agenda for you personally except for God's best blessings in your life. You know you're on a dangerous road when you shut out everyone else, including God, and you are left to your own counsels, your own plans, your own strategies, your own imaginations, your own way of seeing things. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. So we pick it up today in verse 13. And I want you to see the grieving heart of God. Oh, that my people had hearkened unto me. God is essentially saying, oh, what might have been, what could have been, if they had only, it's that path I talked about yesterday, that path of either I'm glad I did or I wish I had. This is the path of what might have been if they had followed God. And I'm telling you, that part of the story scares me to death. Now, I know perfect love casts out fear, and I don't need to be scared in that sense. I remember as a younger follower of Jesus, I used to wonder all the time, I've got to find the will of God. I wasn't afraid of God's will so much as I was afraid of missing God's will. The big threat to you is not the sovereignty or the intervention or the direction or the will of God for your life, even though it might seem mysterious. The threat, the scarier equation is if you were to forsake it or somehow miss it. And as a younger follower, I thought, I want his will, I'm seeking it, but what if I miss it? And I really worked myself up into some anxiety on that until I came to Psalm 32:8, where God said, I will teach thee and instruct thee in the way which thou shalt go. I will guide thee with mine eye. It's like God put his hands on my shoulders and said, Cary, it's okay. If you want my will, if you're teachable, if you're leadable, I'm going to lead you. I've got my eye on you. I'm going to make sure that you make right steps. In all your ways, acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. There's two kinds of Christians. There are those that really don't trust, and they don't want his direction. They have this fear of God's direction. They really see things their way, and God to them is more like a lucky rabbit's foot or a concierge or a genie. It's like, hey, God, I want to go that way, and I need your help getting there. So could you just kind of help me? They're trying to leverage God. But then there are those that really trust him, and they say, Lord, I don't want my own way because I know I'm just going to mess things up. I know I'm just going to make some bad decisions, and I don't want to follow my own counsels. I don't want to lean to my own understanding. I used to tell young people, seniors in high school, when they're kind of thinking about their future, college and all these things, I'd say, take a sheet of paper and write out your view, your way, your own understanding, your preferred future. Write out your story. Be detailed. Like, you're going to go to this college, you're going to study this, you're going to get this kind of job, you're going to marry this kind of person, you're going to, and I said, write it all out. I said, I'm not saying it's right or wrong or good or bad. I'm saying just write out your perspectives, your way of seeing things. And I said, now, it may happen, it may not happen. In all likelihood, it's not going to happen exactly how you see it. If you follow the Lord, it's going to be harder and better, both. And if you don't follow the Lord, it's going to be worse and worse on both accounts. But I said the main thing is, after you write out that paper, take a red marker and draw a big circle and put an X through it and write across the top, do not trust this. Do not trust this. And I would tell them, listen, you're not abdicating. You're not saying, I never want this to happen. You're not saying I'm automatically wrong. You're just saying, I'm going to lean away from my understanding. Oh, that my people had hearkened unto me, God said, if only they had listened. You ever give advice to somebody and you've been down this road, you've seen this movie before, and the decisions they're making are leading a really bad way, and it's not going to go well, and you're just kind of, you don't want to see the train wreck, and you try to warn them, but they don't want to hear. That's a sickening feeling. I mean, I'm thinking if you're a parent or if you're someone that you've got a good friend doing the wrong thing, you just know it's going to go badly, and they're going to send themselves down a road of pain. Magnify that times about 1 billion or 1 trillion, and now you've got a sense of the heart of God who says, oh, that my people had hearkened unto me, and Israel had walked in my ways. So I want you to track this. If Israel, or if you, let's bring it forward, if we, as his people, will hearken. Now that word hearken is to listen with the intent to obey, to take action on the direction of God and the commands of God. If we, as God's people, will hearken, 5 big blessings. I'm going to give you 3 of them right now, and I'm doing okay on time, and we're going to get 2 tomorrow, okay? So the first big blessing, redemption. You get to be God's. Look at verse 13. Oh, that my people. Okay, so belonging to God, being reconciled to God, begins with you trusting Jesus and what he's done on the cross for you. He's done all the work necessary. You cannot earn it, achieve it, pay for it. You cannot work your way to salvation. You can't work your way to stay saved. You can't lose your salvation once you get it. It is a gift of God, purchased by Jesus on the cross, received by faith. Whosoever shall call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved. Marvel not that I say unto you, you must be born again, Jesus said. And then later he said, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. My friend, if you've not received Jesus right now, pause, pray, ask Jesus to come into your life and be your Savior. And then post a comment and say, hey, everybody, I just trusted Christ. Or tell me, email me, pastor@ebcnewington.com. Now, you get, number one, you get redemption. You get total security. Your eternal future is secured. Judgment is passed on to Jesus. The condemnation you deserved moves to Jesus on the cross. And now you are the object of God's mercy and love. You're his child. You're adopted. You're secured. So you're redeemed. Number one blessing, redemption. Unspeakable gift. Number two, direction. And I love this. Oh, that my people had hearkened unto me, and Israel had walked in my ways. Now, I want you to think about this for a minute. How often in your life are you looking and thinking about some major decision and you need direction? Now, here's the deal, friend. God's grace, the gospel, is not just fire insurance. It's not just a rescue, a free ticket to eternity and an entrance into heaven and a rescue from hell and a rescue from judgment. It is that. That's where it goes, okay? But it is so much more than that. It is the reconciliation of your alienated life from God. It is the implanting of the life of God deep within you. It is a new spiritual DNA being put in you. If any man be in Christ, he is a new creature. It's a total new birth, a total spiritual rebuild that happens the moment you receive Jesus Christ. As many as received him, to them gave you the power to become the sons of God. So it's not just a destination, it's a journey. It's a relationship. And all of a sudden you have a father and a faithful friend. You have a guide. You have the greatest mind in the universe, the mind that was and is to come and knows the end from the beginning, the Alpha and the Omega, the mind of providence that's writing the grand story of time and space and the history and the future of all the ages. He has written you into his story. And suddenly, you're not just randomly walking through life. You're not just randomly evolved biological matter trying to find meaning. You are the adopted child of the King of the universe. And he says, I've got a way for you to walk. I've got truth and life and righteousness and goodness. I've got blessing and flourishing for you to experience. I've got a kingdom that I'm building and a mission for you to accomplish. God brings you into a whole set of ways for you to walk in. And it's like a global season's pass to all of the most flourishing tourist spots in the world. It's God's golden key into a flourishing human existence in his grace, in his mercy, in his purposes. You say, Cary, what delusion are you under? The world is a mess and it's confusing and it's chaotic. Hey, friend, when you belong to Jesus, he's already won. The victory is secure. And you're walking through this chaotic and confusing time on a divine mission in the middle of an unfolding divine story. So you get redemption, but you get direction. David said, lead me in a plain path, Lord. So you get direction. And I'm a little over time. I apologize. So you know what? Let's pause there and we'll pick it up tomorrow. 5 big blessings. The first 2, redemption, huge. Direction, huge. Okay, so time out. Go up to the corner there, click subscribe, and take this video link and share it. Give it to a friend and invite them to take the journey with us. Don't forget to drop a comment, share your thoughts. I love hearing from you. I love responding. So before you go, let me know how today impacted you, or maybe you've got a question. Drop a question. Let's engage in the questions. I'll share maybe your comment or your question, and we'll talk about it in an upcoming episode. So thanks for joining me today on Growing in the Gospel. I'm having a great time with you. Looking forward to all that God will do through this time together. And I will see you tomorrow for the next 3 blessings. Have a great day.